A dwarf kneels solemnly before the princess, holding a pair of crystal shoes, and slides the jeweled heels onto her feet. Then a prince in a frock coat approaches gracefully, taking his place at her side. As his fingers brush against her soft skin, she is completely swept away by the sweetness of love. Just as his lips draw near, a jolt of panic surges through her. She wakes with a start, only to realize it was nothing but a wet dream. Shame floods in before she can catch her breath. Ever since she was a child, Mama has forced her to wear a corset to prevent any man from laying a hand on her. Once, Nalan secretly removed it during gym class, only to be caught by Mama outside the school gate. Fuming with rage, Mama beat Nalan in front of everyone, berating her for bringing shame upon the entire family. Traumatized, Nalan rushed home and strapped herself into the corset again. Even when she wet herself, she didn't dare take it off. She dragged Nalan to the corner, poured cold water all over her, and lectured her through chattering teeth. "You must never lie. No man must ever touch you, not until your wedding night." Now, dreaming of intimacy obviously goes against Mama's doctrine. Nalan believes she has sinned. So she does what Mama once did, pours cold water over herself, hoping to wash away the filth. Nanny finds her soaked and trembling and rushes to dry her with a towel. Through tears, Nalan tells the nanny about the scene in her dream. Mother will be very angry if she finds out about it. Nanny comforts her gently. It wasn't real. And even if it was, a kiss isn't a sin. It's not your fault. At dawn, a sudden knock startles them awake. It is Mr. Koroglu inviting Nalan downstairs for a chat. But without Mama's permission, Nalan dares not leave on her own. Upon learning the situation, Dad comes to Nalan's door and urges her to meet Mr. Koroglu. After all, she is a guest, and refusing a host would be rude. Besides, he hopes his daughter can have her own life. However, Nalan worries Mama will scold her. Dad promises to keep it a secret from Mama. After getting her father's permission, Nalan changes and heads to the kitchen, where Mr. Koroglu waits to bake bread together. Mr. Koroglu clearly admires Nalan's obedient nature. As he teaches her to knead dough, they chat freely. Nalan can't help but wonder, don't you have a team of chefs? Why do you insist on doing this yourself? Mr. Koroglu begins to share the story of how he grew up. When he was young, Mr. Koroglu's family was very poor with 7 siblings. His mother was sick and bedridden. So the responsibility of supporting the family fell on him as the eldest. He used to start work at a bakery before dawn every day, earning meager wages just to feed his siblings and mother. Life was hard, but the family remained warm and close-knit. Those difficult years also shaped Mr. Koroglu's lifelong habit of frugality. Nalan listens with deep admiration, surprised that the wealthiest man in the country once endured such a difficult childhood. Mr. Koroglu wants Nalan to marry Sedat and have a child as soon as possible, becoming a part of the big family. Nalan looks forward to it as well, but after having too much tea, she starts feeling the urge to pee. Unaware of her predicament, Mr. Koroglu cheerfully invites her for a walk. Left with no choice, Nalan walks alongside him, shifting awkwardly as she tries her best to hold it in. Meanwhile, Mama wakes up and finds Nalan missing. She storms into an argument with Dad. "I've spent my life protecting our daughter. How could you just hand her over to a stranger like that?" Dad fumes at her twisted reasoning and snaps, telling her to stop controlling and let their daughter live her own life. Nalan trembles as she unbuttons her shirt, but Mama refuses to loosen the corset. She's still angry that Nalan went to see her future father-in-law without her permission. Worse still, she suspects Mr. Koroglu might have touched Nalan. Nalan is about to explode, not from her bladder, but from fury. She swears over and over no one touched her and promises never to get close to Sedat. Only then does Mama untie the corset and let her dash to the bathroom. Later, Nalan's family comes to the living room to say goodbye to Sedat's family. Mama brings up the walk with Mr. Koroglu and mocks him for acting on his own. The room fills with awkward silence. Thankfully, Mr. Koroglu takes her words as a joke. Right now, all he cares about is the kids' engagement. To help them bond, he asks Sedat to take Nalan out for a stroll. Mama doesn't like it, but has no excuse to say no. As soon as Nalan steps outside, she stops. She knows she's not supposed to leave Mama's line of sight. Sedat plays the part of a man who claims he doesn't believe in love, yet somehow she is the only one he's ever felt drawn to. Nalan shifts uneasily, glancing back at the house every few seconds. Taking her silence as a yes, Sedat pulls out a diamond ring and proposes. Only after seeing Mama show no objection does Nalan finally accept. And the moment the ring slides onto her finger, Nalan can't stop smiling. It's clear deep down she's always longed for this. Unfortunately, a man's sweet words are a liar's poison. No sooner has Nalan left than Sedat takes his lover to his secret base. Sedat senses her jealousy toward Nalan, but she forces a smile, stubbornly denying it, and slaps him hard across the face. The more she resists, the more Sedat seems aroused. Kana drags him into a secret room filled with toys and tools, eager to resume their games. The massive diamond on Nalan's finger nearly blinds her best friend. She's genuinely happy for the longtime virgin, marveling at how her life has turned completely upside down overnight. But Nalan doesn't share the joy. She fears it's all just a dream she'll soon lose. She confesses she's been dreaming about Sedat constantly, worried something might be wrong with her. Biller encourages her to enjoy it, saying it's perfectly normal. Every woman feels this way when she's in love. That evening, Sedat's family visits Nalan's home. The entrance is already swarmed with reporters, and it takes a struggle just to get inside. Nalan tugs at her tight corset for a breath of relief, only to receive a deadly glare from Mama. Instantly, she straightens up, wearing the polite smile of a well-bred young lady, and welcomes the guests. Sedat's father formally asks for Nalan's hand. Mama's smile nearly cracks. Dad says he has no objections, but emphasizes that it all depends on Nalan's will. The crowd instantly turns to Nalan with anticipation. Nalan turns to Mama and she gives a slight nod. Nalan doesn't dare to make a sound, but smiles, and the room takes that as a yes. As soon as Sedat slips the engagement ring onto her finger, Nalan instinctively pulls her hand away. And when it's her turn to return the gesture, she barely lets her fingertips brush his hand. Dad offers his heartfelt blessing with tears in his eyes, pleading with Sedat to take good care of his daughter. Mama, throat tight, says nothing. In truth, she's always wanted Nalan to marry and find happiness. She's just terrified that a man might hurt her. After the ceremony, Sedat invites his fiancée out, hoping to spend some time getting to know each other better. Under Dad's pleading gaze, Mama yields. Then she hands Nalan a phone equipped with a tracking and listening device, ordering her to keep the call active at all times. Nalan's skin prickles with fear, but she dares not resist. After dodging reporters and cameras, Nalan finally gets into Sedat's Volkswagen. But with Mama listening in on the line, she can't speak freely. She's afraid even a small misstep will be seen as crossing a line. Suddenly, a car full of paparazzi pulls up beside them, flashing their cameras. Sedat says it's all because they're interested in her. Noticing her hands trembling, he reaches over to ask if she's okay. Mama, catching only fragments of the conversation, assumes Sedat is trying to defile Nalan and starts panicking. Nalan is afraid of being found out and clamps her hand over the phone. But the silence on the line only makes Mama more hysterical. To shake off the press, Sedat drives Nalan to his secret base. By now, the vests are cutting off her circulation. She gasps for air and fights a wave of nausea, saying she needs to use the bathroom. Mama hears they're heading to the bathroom together and assumes it's the prelude to something indecent. Once inside, Nalan vomits violently. Over the phone, Mama shouts at her to leave immediately, oblivious to the damage she's inflicting. In the middle of her struggle, Nalan notices something strange on the sink. Women's makeup scattered and 2 toothbrushes in a cup, clearly a couple's set. Nalan realizes something is off. She staggers out of the bathroom, trying to find Sedat and ask him the truth. By accident, a large round bed comes into view with chains hanging around it. Countless questions flood her mind. Sedat sees her there and freezes, clearly caught off guard, doesn't know how to explain. Lucky for him, Nalan passes out from the tight grip and crashes to the floor. Ironically, even in her unconsciousness, she dreams of marrying Sedat in a blissful ceremony. When she wakes up, she is already back in her own room. Mama spends the whole night staring at the sea, unable to sleep. Dad tries to calm her down. Nalan was only out for an hour. There's no way she could have done anything improper. But Mama is still uneasy and orders the nanny to prepare a bath for Nalan. You must examine every inch of her skin. Even if there is a spot the size of a pinhole, you must inform me. While bathing Nalan, the nanny follows Mama's instructions and begins inspecting her skin. Nalan notices that she is out of sorts. Nanny changes the subject and asks her what happened last night. Trusting her completely, Nalan confesses that she dreamt about Sedat kissing her again. She simply can't control it. Neither of them notices that Mama is lurking just outside the door. Hearing them discussing all but kissing and desires, Mama's expression turns to stone. After the bath, Nalan gets ready to drive herself and Biller to work. But Mama sends Biller off in the butler's car instead. Nalan asks where she's going. Mama casually replies to the hospital. Worried that Mama might be unwell, Nalan presses the gas pedal and drives fast. But the moment she sees the gynecology sign, a wave of painful memories floods back. 10 years ago, Mama found a movie ticket in her bag and assumed she'd been out with a boy. Nalan tried to explain it was a classmate's ticket and she never went. But Mama didn't believe her. She dragged her here for a virginity test and told her to keep her mouth shut. Now, Nalan realizes she's reliving the exact same nightmare. Even the doctor is the same. But this time, the doctor doesn't take Mama seriously and says he only listens to Nalan. No examination can be done without the patient's permission. She tells Mama that a mother should learn to trust her daughter. Mama retorts sharply, "What does a child know about consent?" She insists an hour is plenty of time to do something shameful. Nalan no longer defends herself. Tears well up in her eyes as she begs the doctor to perform the test. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage and you'll see more recaps of Camdaki Kiz. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.